Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Miss D and Artemis. Say hi, guys.
Hey everyone.
Hi, guys.
So, what do we got going on today? Well, we are midway through the month, and it is a bit longer of a development month as there are 5 Thursdays, and I'll get into that in a minute. But we're over here on the Aux 2 staging branch, showing off what is going on in development and what may be coming in the update 2 weeks from today. First and foremost, if you have any questions as we're going through this, as always, feel free to do Miss D underscore, that's me in chat, and we'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. Also, if you're wondering what's going on with whips today, well, it is the Thursday weekly wipe servers wiping today. And I'll speak for Rustafied. I'm not going to speak for anyone else, but for Rustafied servers, it's your weekly Thursday wipe server. So that's your mains, your smalls, your Zen labs, and your solos. And those are wiping at the regular scheduled time for the region, which is 3 p.m. local time for each region. That means AU SEA wiped like 11, 12 hours ago. EU wiped 3 hours ago. And the US servers will wipe in just under 2 hours at 3 p.m. EST. And these are map wipes only, as we are mid month, and there's no blueprint wipes happening on Rustified servers mid month. There will be a forced wipe and a blueprint wipe on a lot of Rustified servers 2 weeks from today. That's going to be June 6th. And if you're wondering, wait, isn't the forced wipe supposed to be a week before that? Well, no, because the forced wipes and the updates only happen on the first Thursday of every month. And when we have a month like this month where there's 5 Thursdays, we just wait 5 weeks. And if you're wondering, what about mediums and trios and all those bi weekly servers? What do we do with those? Well, those are going to wipe again next Thursday, which is the last day of the month. And then they will have just a 1 week wipe cycle until the update and forced wipe hits on June 6th. Now, there's no sign of a forced blueprint wipe with this forced update and map wipe on June 6th. However, many Rustified servers do wipe blueprints when the update hits. The exception, if you're one of those people who like saving up your blueprints and not losing them every month, we've got several servers that do save blueprints, and that is medium threes, long threes, and our ZenLab servers. And those are both in US and EU. We have versions of those servers. And those are our servers that do not wipe blueprints unless forced by Facepunch, which hardly ever happens these days. All right, cool. With that stuff out of the way, let's get into it. What's going on in Rust development? Well, one of the big things going on is this new form of vehicle, the bikes. And if you've not paid attention the past couple of weeks, there's a couple types of bikes, 3 variants specifically. One pedal powered, which my lips love saying pedal powered. And then there is 2 motorbikes, one with a sidecar and one with just a motorbike, no sidecar. You'll notice the bicycle, the pedal powered, is the only one with a texture on the model at the moment. So these things aren't going to launch as just, textureless white bikes, of course. But we probably will see that texture come in pretty soon here. And what we're seeing is a lot of work on various aspects of driving these things around, suspension, sidecar setup, textures, which of course still need some work, and various other finishing touches on these bikes. Now, we are able to get on them. This week, we were able to do the fix cars command near the bikes and actually get on them. And so you can see, like, driving them around is really coming along. I mean, it's sure, maybe a little janky at points still. But we're all used to riding
What do you
horses.
mean?
We all know what the cars drive like in this game. So I mean, honestly, what did you expect? But no, they zip around, especially in the motorbike. Zips around at a pretty good click. And you can even do some jumps. I saw a great video on Twitter, someone who made a like Evil Knievel style jump and took it off the jump. And immediately I'm thinking, are people gonna start building like Evil Knievel jumps to raid bases and then like take motorbikes to motorbike on top of the base? I don't know, but could be cool. No word on when these are making their way into the game, but given the velocity of the commits and how everything's moving forward, I think there is a moderately good chance we could see this come for the June update. Nothing has been confirmed by the devs yet, but given we've got 2 weeks and we're still seeing a lot of work on these, I think it's possible. It's possible. I wouldn't say it's probable, but it's very possible we could see these for the June update. And yeah, if you have any questions or want us to test anything on the bikes, feel free to ask Miss D underscore. That's me in chat as always. The motorbike of course runs on low grade fuel. It looks like it can just seat one person on the pedal powered bicycle or the motorbike. And then of course the sidecar will feature a passenger from the looks of it. And with the pedal powered bike, you can hold left shift, and that will give you a little sprint kind of bar that comes up. And so you can kind of sprint for a little bit as well on the pedal powered bike. And the pedal powered bike, man, I'm saying that a lot. That doesn't require any fuel except your little footsies. So it'd be cool if you went faster with frog boots or something. I don't know. That's probably an awful idea. But anyway, those are the bikes. They're coming on in. They're making good progress, and maybe we'll see them in June. Now, also, we had another very interesting new item enter staging this week, and that is the Seismic sensor. This is a new electrical powered device that you can just put on a wall. And what it does is it shoots power, it gives power when it detects a seismic event. And so, seismic events, based on what we're seeing, are including everything from rockets, grenades, satchels, C4, and even the patrol helicopter blowing up near it apparently will set it off. The Molotovs are not supposed to set it off. They are now, but we saw a thing that basically says that's not going to be the case. And what you can also do with this, which is cool and pretty flexible, is you can set what range it wants to detect that seismic activity. And that will go all the way up to 30 meters. And so what you can do is you can put this out and then you can put a warning up. And I'm sure you could set up some different things in Rust Plus as well to warn you if, some C4 explosions are detected. Or it's also even if a turret is destroyed as well within the vicinity, it will go off. So it's basically just this offline raid detection tool for all intents and purposes. And it's pretty cool. It's just like you hook up the power to it, and then once it's running, you can have a pass through thing to like hook a light up to it or whatever you want. And then once an explosion is detected within the radius you set, the power goes off and it will activate whatever thing you put through the pass through thing. So that's the seismic sensor. Do we have any crafting costs on this yet? I think it's still pretty much a work in progress, so I'm not sure anything's finalized. But what are we seeing as far as crafting and things with the seismic sensor?
Yeah, so for the minute, it looks like it's 3 high qual and 1 tech trash.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that is the seismic sensor. I think the model for the actual device is still a placeholder model potentially. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe that's finalized. But I don't think it is. But anyway, it looks like the functionality is in there and working properly. And it is some pretty cool, nice to have functionality, especially if you want to be alerted if you are getting rated, which I know a lot of people would like that in their life. So that is the seismic sensor. And I imagine that will be making its appearance for the update in June, on June 6th. Now, also, we have some hood and cuffs being worked on. Now, this is actually a prisoner hood and handcuffs. And this was a functionality that was in the works, or at least conceptualized and put into concept limbo years ago, actually. And just in the past couple of weeks, we've seen this actually start taking shape on a separate branch. And basically, the idea from what we're seeing, and we don't have a ton of details yet because it is still all on a separate branch, but it looks like you're going to be able to have someone surrender. You're going to be able to take them captive. You're going to be able to put a hood on their head and cuff them up. And then some of the little functionality we've seen was in a commit last week where it was talking about how once a person is in the surrendered mode and they're cuffed and hooded, you'll be able to see their inventory and you'll be able to interact with their belt bar inventory, but you won't actually be able to take things out of their actual player inventory or backpack inventory from the looks of it. So this definitely could bring some interesting new interactions and dynamics, with the game and with different players in the game. And as I said, though, all still on a separate branch. Not really sure how far along this functionality is. It's hard to tell when you're just going off, commits. But it does look like some hood and cuffs are definitely on the horizon for Rust. I don't know if they'll be in for June. I think it's probably unlikely, but who knows? We still do have 2 weeks because it's a longer month, so we might see this stuff get merged in. If we see that hood and cuffs branch get merged into staging, in this next week, then I think there's a good chance we might see it for the June update. But that remains to be seen. So as always, we'll keep you updated as more comes to light on that. Now, there's also a bunch of various fixes going on, and this has been kind of a motif for the last couple of weeks, which I love. And that's where the team is just going through all miscellaneous things that need some work in the game and fixing them. And so we're seeing a bunch of things all over the place. Some culling fixes for launch sites. So as you're coming in to view the launch site and everything, it's a little more optimized. And ideally, you get less hitches and better FPS. We're seeing some lantern fixes and some searchlight fixes and some I/O wiring fixes and ping estimation fixes. Basically, as I said, all over the place. There's a more complete list on rustafied.com. As always, we do an article every week, every Thursday, first thing Eastern time at midnight. It goes live and summarizes all this in text and pictures. So you can always check out rustified.com to get another version of this. But yeah, that's a bunch of fixes going on, and we've seen that the last couple of weeks. So we should see a bunch of, miscellaneous good fixes going in for the June update. Now, also in the realm of other stuff, we did just recently, earlier today, like an hour or two ago, saw an interesting commit around medium battery. And what they've done is the medium battery size has been reduced by 15%, give or take. And that's to balance them against large batteries and make them fit under half walls. So that medium battery is going to be much more viable now and much more easily placed, especially in smaller bases or solo bases and stuff like that. So that's a nice little quality of life we've seen come in. Also, in the kind of quality of life realm, we've got the addition of HV and incendiary ammo being added to the mixing table. So the mixing table will no longer be just for your teas and your explosives and your gunpowder or whatever. You will also be able to craft some ammo there. Now, this doesn't seem to be merged into the branch we're on. We're on aux 2 main branch, and I don't think it was added to that yet. So we can't show you exactly, but you can imagine you'll be able to go to the mixing table and craft HV and incendiary ammo. You'll also, at the mixing table, now see 8 recipes in the list at once as opposed to 4. So you'll be able to see more recipes at a time. And I guess that makes sense because there'll be more available. Also, they've done a couple things with auto run and toggle crouch will now hold their state when the player opens chat. So if you're running or crouching and you open chat, you won't just pop up or stop running necessarily. That's cool, little quality of life thing. We've got some more work on some new weapons. There's really two weapons that are upcoming at the moment. There's the Blunderbuster or Blunderbuss, if you will, and there's also the SKS rifle. Now, the SKS rifle, if you're not familiar or if you missed it last month, was originally going to be part of the Nomad Hazmat Suit DLC, which is a kind of weird choice given that DLC came out a couple of years ago. And to add to the DLC randomly after several years is kind of an odd thing. And as it turns out, the devs decided against doing that after they announced it and got some feedback. And so it looks like that SKS rifle is, instead of being a skin of the SAR, is actually going to be its own standalone rifle coming into the game potentially as soon as June. We'll keep you posted. It looks really like that rifle is ready to go for the most part. I'm not seeing anything obvious that needs to be changed with it. So we'll probably see that SKS rifle come in for June, I'm thinking. And nothing's confirmed yet. Keep that in mind. So grain of salt, all that good stuff. But that's what I'm thinking. And then we've got that Blunderbuster or Blunderbuss. And that, if you've seen like Looper or played some other various games, I forget the games at the moment, but that's just kind of like a one shot, powerful, ratchety ass shotgun. I'm thinking something in that realm. And we're seeing more work on that. We're seeing the, you know, textures and models and animations and everything take shape. Still on a separate branch, so we can't show it off yet. And no word on when it's going to make it into the game. But we've seen pretty consistent commits for it over the past couple weeks. So I wouldn't be shocked if it does make its way in for June. There's also some more optimizations for render LOD collapsing. That's just like map performance stuff. They're reworking some stuff with the anti-rad T, and that still seems to be in process. There is the first signs of maybe the next DLC to come out, which is going to be a Frontier hazmat suit, adding to that growing list of, hazmat DLCs. It looks like Frontier will be the next one, which makes sense. We had the Frontier item pack and everything and building skin and everything. So to have a hazmat, would that make sense? Maybe it'll come with a cool AK skin as well or something like that. We'll keep you posted. There's more work on the wire slacking functionality, and this is where you'll actually be able to add some slack to your wires when you're wiring electrical devices. So you could have some wires like hanging or slacked up or something. It's cool, and will make it look more realistic at the very least in some instances, which is cool. There's also more work on the cliffs rework. So, those cliffs around all the procedurally generated maps and everything, and they've been the same since pretty much the whole HDRP thing launched, and they're reworking them. Now, if you're a map maker or if you're into custom maps, you might be wondering, oh shit, are they going to delete the current cliffs when they launch these new cliffs? Because if you've created a map that uses the current cliffs and they delete them from the game, well, you got to go through and rework that whole map, redo every cliff. And this actually came up because we're working on Charitable Rust and the map for Charitable Rust this year, and it does use those cliffs. And I'm happy to report that I did talk with Damien this week, who's working on these cliffs, and he did confirm they're going to keep in the cliffs that already exist. And so if you're a map maker or custom map lover, you don't have to worry about that. That won't be like a step backwards for custom maps again. That has happened in the past, and it is kind of a big shitty deal when it happens. And thankfully, the devs are accounting for this time, and they will keep in those existing cliffs so that current custom maps using them do not break, which is great. Also, going forward, we've got some tweaks to tone down the screen shaking effects in game. You can now pick up empty campfire water purifiers, and that's cool. And more server profiling. It looks like basically there's a good amount in various different fronts of work on optimization that we're seeing. We're seeing map optimizations and culling optimizations and server profiling and all that stuff. And so that's all great because This game still could use a good amount of optimization, and the more we see in that realm of performance work, the better optimized the game will be and the better it will run. And also, not for nothing, the more people will be able to play the game, because there's a subset of people out there that would love to play the game but just don't have a computer powerful enough. And so it's cool to see this stuff being worked on with optimization and performance. Also going on, we've got Nexus is in the mix. If you're not familiar, Nexus is that whole body of work of server to server transfer in game without like leaving a server. And on top of that, that's the clan system as well, the clan table. And it's like the team UI, but on crack. It's for managing hundreds of people across multiple servers all through this clan table thing. And that's all embodied in the Nexus body of work. And we're seeing some more work on that now. We're seeing uh, basically the big news, along with just working on the nitty gritty of how that works and putting the finishing touches on it, is they've added the ability for hot air balloons to be used as server transfers as well. So originally it looked like it was just going to be boats like that use the transfer, but now it looks like you'll be able to take a hot air balloon with you and your friends and all your gear and visit another server in the near future. Now, this isn't going to be a thing where you can go from like US Medium 1 to US Medium 2 or any server to any other server. This is going to be just for what I guess they're calling Nexus servers or Nexi, I don't know. But it's basically going to be like each server is going to be a node, and then you'll have a couple nodes in the mix. And so one Nexus might be 5 nodes, which essentially is 5 different servers, and the players in each node will be able to travel via hot air balloon or boat with their stuff, with their friends, to the other nodes in the Nexus, if that makes sense. And this, I imagine, is going to be launched just by Facepunch from the get go. And then maybe after a month or so, other server owners will be able to launch their own Nexus servers. It does look like it's going to be a separate UI, like a separate list, server list. When we saw it briefly, because this has been kind of fundamentally in the game for a little while, but when we saw it briefly on the server list, it was basically like there was official, community, modded, and then there was Nexus servers. And so it is going to be its own standalone server type that will basically be a master server with several nodes underneath. And we're seeing more work on that. And specifically, you'll be able to take hot air balloons from node to node. So that's pretty cool. We'll keep you posted as more comes to light. This has really been, what is it, 2+ years in the works, this body of work. So I don't have any strong confidence that we're going to see it real soon, but I could be wrong. Again, we're not developers of the game. We're just fans of the game who love running the best servers we can and reporting on development news every week. But we'll keep you up to date as always. And then wrapping up, we've got some more work on the Rad Town Redux, which is like those legacy Rad Towns that we're going to see. And it might just be one variant around the map as a new monument, or maybe we'll see a couple Rad Towns take form, but that's still in the like gray boxing and texturizing phases. So I don't think we're going to see that for June. There's a bit more work on the traveling vendor, and this is going to be a new type of vendor that's going to be NPC that goes around the main like road of the map and moves from time to time, and will have special things. Well, I don't know how special they'll be, but hopefully they'll be special, but things that you can purchase. But I imagine that's going to be a unique set of items. Maybe it'll change from time to time. I'm thinking about like that Red Dead Redemption traveling vendor. And doesn't like Fallout 76 have a traveling vendor? And normally their inventory changes from day to day or time to time. So maybe we'll see something similar here, but we'll keep you posted. Still on a separate branch, so no visuals or specifics. And as I mentioned before, they're doing a bunch of various things for performance improvements around the map and for loading the game and all this stuff. And then they're also working on this thing to mask the display of your player's arms when you're wearing a skin that doesn't have sleeves, basically. So if the skin that you have completely covers the arms, then what they're doing is they're just having the arms not display underneath. and that's to get rid of any of those instances where you might see some overlap or whatever with the skins on your arms. So that is what we've got going on for Rust development for the week. Once again, there are 2 more weeks of Rust development for the month until we have the update and forced wipe. So that is expected June 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're starting to see what could take shape. We could see some bikes. We'll probably see the seismic sensor. We might see hood and cuffs. Probably not. And then we've got a bunch of fixes, optimizations, and some various quality of life. So, Miss D, do we have any questions from the audience?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix this bike here. I'm stuck on the cliff thingy. There we go. Okay, give me a sec. Is the update coming out today?
No, there's no update today. We are mid month, so this is just an update preview stream. At the moment, we do these every Thursday at 1 p.m., regardless of what Thursday it is. So, no update today, but the next update is expected on June 6th. So, basically, 2 weeks from today at 2 p.m. Eastern.
What is an update stream? I never seen these from Rustafied, only follow them for the Rustafied events.
Wow. That's weird because we only do one event a year, but we do an update stream every Thursday. But cool. Yeah, an update stream is
For
basically
10
just,
years.
yeah, for literally 10,
Yeah,
10,
every
10
week
years
for
now.
10
What
years.
the fuck am I doing with my life? I've been doing this for 10 years. Holy shit. No, but anyway, it's all good. No, an update preview stream or an update stream is basically where we just go over, as we have been, what is going on in Rust development, what's going on the staging branch, and what we may see in the next month's update. And welcome.
Do you think the sidecars should have two variants where one is for passengers and one for cargo?
You know what? It's funny. I didn't think of this. I'm going to call myself out though. I've been using just a little bit of ChatGPT for my articles some weeks because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to write here. And ChatGPT actually spit out saying the sidecar would be great for another passenger or cargo. And then I'm thinking, man, that would be cool if there was a cargo variant so you can just carry some extra stuff around instead of a passenger. I have no idea if that's going to be the case. I think it's possible though. I mean, if you look at the model right now, it has like the space for a sidecar module, but there's nothing there. So it stands to reason there could be a seat module for a sidecar and a storage module for the sidecar. So that's a great idea, and I do hope they do that because um, it would be nice to be able to just go around the map and carry a couple extra things like a backpack on your bike.
Yay, I got it inside the base. The bicycle. Do cars set off the new sensor?
No. From what we're seeing in the commits, cars will not set off the new sensor. It's mainly just explosive devices like C4, satchels, grenades. And then the one exception to that is, I believe, the patrol helicopter. Um, when that crashes within range of a seismic sensor, that will go off as well. And also, a turret being destroyed will set it off. But no sign of cars, like if you run into it or blow up a car near it, no sign of that being the case. But also, this is very much still a work in progress, so it is very possible we could see some additional dynamics added to this seismic sensor. So we'll really have to see between now and 2 weeks from today when it's likely to go live if they, tweak anything with that.
Also, not a question, but just noticed the Rustified Twitter is 10 years old. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, it's really kind of crazy that I've been doing this for, I mean, I guess this is going on my 11th year because I did a lot of stuff before I opened the Twitter and we started streaming. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. This is legitimately the longest I've ever done a thing in my life. Um, and I'm still doing it. But, and also, Misty and Artemis, thank you guys for still being here with me because we've been doing this for years. And
Yeah, I think I've been on this for what, 9 years?
yeah, I think eight,
Something like
nine
that?
years probably. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, love it.
But yeah, it's crazy. Time flies. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I've
does.
never done anything else in my life longer than this. I guess maybe my marriage. It's a close call.
That's a good thing, though.
I guess that's the thing I'm doing in my life too. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that we're still going. I had no idea this game would last this long, man. When I started this, I was like, yeah, maybe in 5 years I'll figure out something else to do. But the game's still going strong. They're still updating it. They're still adding great things, and there's no end in sight. So, I mean, I'll keep doing this as long as they're doing it, I suppose.
Is there any news on the anti-cheats? Seems like there is a
Oh,
lot of cheaters these days.
oh yeah, man, this shit is riding on me. And if there were one reason that had me be like, okay, fuck all this shit, I'm moving in the woods, it legit would be the cheaters. I'm not gonna let them win, but Jesus, is it a pain in the ass to deal with this every day, day out of day. If you look in our Discord, you'll see me and our mods in there all the time, like 24/7, just handling cheaters. And the situation is that EAC made some improvements last month. They started banning people a bit quicker, but it's almost like the yin and yang of the universe. EAC pushes a bit and does stuff, and then in the past couple of weeks, we've seen this huge influx of hackers coming in, and with new accounts and all this stuff. And although EAC improved a bit, it definitely is not where it needs to be. It's not where I would, if I were Facepunch, which I'm not, independent organization, totally not developers of the game or Facepunch. But if I were Facepunch and I had paid someone 10 years ago, a company that literally in their name is about anti cheat, and their whole deal is removing cheaters from the game, and I had been paying them for 10 years, and they were still doing the job they're doing right now, I would not be a happy customer. Uh, so there's room for improvement. I I bite my tongue trying not to talk shit on EAC. Um, it was funny. I'm just reminded years ago, we were on staging like 8 years ago. If you look at my Steam account, it says one game ban on
Same.
record.
Yeah, I started that one. I was
Motherfuckers,
the first one
these
getting game banned.
motherfuckers tarnished my reputation because we were on staging, and it wasn't intentional. They had this
Yeah.
goof where it was anyone who joined staging for like this couple hours this one afternoon in like 2018. If you joined staging, you got EAC banned temporarily. So we're on stream like 6, 7 years ago, and I'm shit talking EAC, and then all of us
And
get EAC banned, and
yeah,
I'm just
first
like,
me and then XP and then you. And it all came up on Steam with you are VAC
yeah,
banned, blah blah
you
blah.
are EAC
And
banned. I'm like,
I think
oh fuck.
Alistar actually got
Yeah,
the ban
Alistair got it
himself,
too.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, a couple devs got it too.
Yeah, that was funny.
Um, so, and that's not the only reason why I try not to shit talk EAC. Go ahead, ban me, motherfuckers. I dare you. No, but it's just like, God, this cheating situation, we need improvements. EAC did improve a bit, but that was a couple weeks ago, and it's like I'm so battered down after the last just even 2 weeks that it's almost like they didn't even do anything. It's like that is a distant memory, because yeah, we're seeing a big influx of hackers. We at Rustafied do work with third-party anti-cheat solutions outside of EAC because EAC can suck a dick. And we also have our in house anti cheat solutions, which we've been building out and honing and tweaking. And we've been onboarding new administration, new human beings to oversee this stuff and go in there. The fact of the matter, though, is this is at times like putting a wildfire out with a garden hose because, um, yeah, or pissing into the wind because there's minimal tools at our disposal to get rid of the hackers that are vanilla tools given to us by the devs. And um, we've been building out other tools and we're doing the best we can, but it's still a big, big problem in the game. And I assert more so than other games where it's like if you have got an FPS that has like 3 minute rounds, it's one thing to lose a round to a hacker. It's another thing to lose a wipe to a hacker, especially when a wipe can be 1 month long. Losing 3 weeks of work to a fucking hacker, are you kidding me? I understand the upset that people have, and I feel that upset. I mirror that upset. It really bothers me to see hackers ruining this game and ruining the experience on specifically my servers but throughout the game. So we are doing the best we can. And the fact of the matter is, the company that has been hired for years, whose whole purpose is to remove hackers from the games that hire them, they are not doing their job well enough. They need to improve. They did improve a little bit the other week. And here you go, EAC, pat on the back. I love you, but continue to get your shit together. You need to continue to improve because we, as server owners, don't have the tools required to sufficiently do this. We don't have access to the crystal balls that EAC does. And they're not doing what they need to do with those balls of crystal. But anyway, I'm not going to go into it too much, but it is to say EC needs to improve. And in lieu of that, we continue to work on improving our internal solutions and continue to work as hard as we can to remove as many hackers as quickly as we can from our servers, such that it doesn't ruin your experience as a player. And it's an uphill battle. It's like pissing in the fucking wind sometimes. And, but we're doing our best. So that's the situation we're at. And if anything drastically changes with that, you better believe I'll be the first to be preaching it from the rooftops. But I'll let you know.
Give admins better tools, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just saw one saying, is it a force wipe today?
Nope. Force wipes are first Thursday of every month. And so that, of course, is going to vary the exact date that it is because every first Thursday is different. But the next one is 2 weeks from today, June 6th. So basically, 2 weeks and 20 minutes from now will be when we see the next update and forced wipe go live.
And do you know when the next Twitch drops are coming?
Not really sure. I
I
think we
think
saw.
on this weekend,
Yeah,
because there's
it's
the
Is it confirmed?
OTV. Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
2 days from now is the next round, as far as I know.
Hot damn, look at that. I hadn't seen that. Yeah, 2 days and 1 hour is the next Switch drop. It's going to be May 25th to the 31st.
You too, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Mm.
cool. No word on what specifically, no previews on the drops yet, but head over to twitch.facepunch.com. Make sure to link your accounts and you'll get them drops, though.
Is there or will there be a button to lean on bikes for wheelies and flips midair?
Ooh, I hope so.
Me too. Yeah, I really hope
That'll be
so.
fun. So that's just we hope there will be, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Do you work with other server hosts to cross band players?
I won't go into details about any of that, but the long and short is yes.
Let me see. Let's do a recap.
All right, let's do a little recapity cap here. What do we got going on? Well, we are 2 weeks from the update. June 6th will be when the next Force Wipe and update is, 2 weeks from today. It is a 5 Thursday month. And so for the Rustafied bi weekly servers like mediums and trios, what you're going to see is they will wipe again next week, next Thursday, and then have a 1 week wipe cycle until June 6th when everything will wipe. It will no sign of a forced blueprint wipe. However, many Rustified servers do choose to wipe blueprints when the update hits. The exception of which, of course, is medium threes, long threes, and Zen Labs, and that's both in US and in EU. Now we're over here on the Aux 2 branch, and we're looking at a couple new additions to the game. First and foremost, the latest type of vehicle to enter the game is the bicycle and motorbike. So there's actually three variants. There's a pedal powered bike, a motorbike, and a motorbike with a sidecar. The motorbikes do not have textures yet, so ignore the white boxes or white models, they will get textured at some point. No word when we're going to see them come in. I think it's possible we could see them come in for the June update, given we still have 2 weeks. And basically, the work we're seeing on them this week is mostly in the realm of suspension and driving and sidecar setup and textures and other finishing touches. So we'll keep you up to date as more comes to light. And if we see these get merged into the main branch in the next week, then that's a very good sign we'll see them going live for the June update. But all remains to be seen at this moment. Also, this week we had the addition of a new electrical item, which could be of real use to a lot of people. It is the seismic sensor. And this is a little green box thing. I imagine this is still placeholder models and textures and stuff. So I think it's going to look different. But for the time being, we've got the functionality in there. The functionality is you wire the puppy up with some power. You can set the range of the thing anywhere from 1 to 30 meters, and then you wire up the pass through to whatever you want. And when a explosion or seismic event, I should say, is detected, it will send power to whatever you wired up to it. So this is going off with, as you would expect, C4 and rockets and satchels and grenades. Molotovs will not set it off, but it looks like a couple other events will, including the destruction of a turret and the destruction of or explosion of the patrol helicopter that goes around the map. So, yeah, that's going to be a cool new electrical item in the game. It costs like a couple high qual and tech trash at the moment to craft, and that's all subject to change. And I imagine the model will change, but from the looks of it, I think there's a good chance we'll see these seismic sensors go in for the update in June. Also, we got work on the hood and cuffs. This is actually not only two new items entering the game, but potentially a whole new dynamic entering the game, because it's a prisoner hood and handcuffs. And it looks like, given the commits, you'll be able to actually capture someone and have them surrender. You'll be able to look in their inventory and take the stuff off their belt, but only look at their inventory. And I'm not sure what else, to be honest with you. It's an interesting new dynamic. We originally saw the idea of this back in, I want to say 2017, 2018. It was in concept limbo for a number of years, and now we're seeing it back. And it looks like it will see the light of day in the near future. No word on when, still in a separate branch. So, given that, I think there's a low likelihood we'll see it for June, but we'll keep you posted as always. There's a number of various fixes that's been going on this month as well, just fixes to all different miscellaneous parts of the game. And that continues this week with some culling fixes for launch site, some lantern and searchlight fixes, some ping estimation fixes. You can see some more details on Rustafied.com, but really they're just going in and fixing up some things that need fixing. There's also a bunch of other stuff going on. As early as the other hour, we saw the medium battery get reduced in size by around 15%, and that's basically to balance them against large batteries and to make them be able to fit under half walls. So medium batteries will be able to fit under half walls with the next update, which is cool. Also, if you go over to the mixing table, they are adding the ability to craft HV and incendiary ammo at the mixing table. They've also doubled the size of the recipe list. So when you're looking at it, you'll actually be able to see 8 recipes at once instead of 4. This is not fully merged into the branch we're on yet, so we can't show it off, but that'll be cool. More to do at the mixing table in the near future. And that probably most likely will go live for the June 6th update. They made it so the auto run and toggle crouch will now hold their state when a player opens the chat. And there's more work on some new weapons. The SKS rifle looks like it'll come in as a standalone weapon instead of an SAR skin, probably coming in for June. Also, the Blunderbuster or Blunderbuss is still very much in progress. No visuals on this yet, still on a separate branch, no details, but from the looks of it, it's a kind of single shot, powerful, janky ass shotgun type of thing. There's also more optimizations on render LOD collapsing. That's just some performance stuff, some performance improvements around the map, reworking anti-rad T. There's going to be maybe the most recent upcoming DLC is going to be the Frontier Hazmat DLC. We're seeing some initial work on that. We're seeing some more work on wire slacking. So when you're wiring electrical stuff, you'll be able to add some slack into the lines to have them like droop down or whatever. Could be nice from a visual standpoint, I suppose. And there's more work on cliff reworks, and they toned down the screen shaking effects and made it so you can pick up empty campfire water purifiers. And they're doing some more work on the Radtown Redux Monument. That's going to be the newest monument in the game, kind of that throwback to Legacy. And some more work on a traveling vendor, which we haven't seen details on yet, but it'll just be kind of an NPC vending machine that travels around the main road of the map from the looks of it. And yeah, that's basically what we're seeing. Once again, we are 2 weeks from the update that will occur on June 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT. And so basically just 2 weeks from today. And we'll, in the meantime, keep an eye on what's going on in Rust development. We will be back next week, as always, to show you. And ideally, we'll have a better sense of what will likely be making it into the game. However, we never really do know until the day of the update launching. So we'll, regardless, keep you up to date between now and then on what's going on. As always, feel free to tune into rustified.com. I do an article there every Thursday that summarizes all this stuff going on in development in text and pictures. And also check us out on X or Twitter or whatever the hell that is. And we do some shorts and things like that throughout the week as things hit staging and more comes to light. So feel free to follow us on there. And Miss D, we got any final questions before we wind this puppy down?
Yeah, I just saw one. Can Zenlab please bring back Sci-Fi's Habits?
Nope.
No, nope. Mm-mm.
Womp womp. Sorry, but not
And
likely going to happen.
can you wear full heavy on the motorbike?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, good
Let's test
question.
it.
Let's test it.
Let's heavy up.
Weird if you not. Oh my God, I can't talk now. If you can. Oh my God,
It's okay, Miss D.
right? Fucking English sometimes.
And if you're wondering what is coming in the next Force Wipe, what's coming in the June update, we don't actually know yet. We're not going to know until pretty much June 6th when everything's kind of finalized. But if I had to guess, I think there's a decent chance that we could see these new vehicles, the motorbikes and the bicycles.
Oh lord.
You,
Yep,
oh,
so
yeah.
full heavy at the minute.
Full heavy. Motorbiking along. I dig it. Good question.
And also, just in case people were wondering what I was trying to show a minute ago, you could set the radius for those detectors smaller and then potentially see which side of your base, etc., that you're being raided from.
Yeah, that's really cool. Originally, I thought it was just a 30-meter radius in general, but you can actually set the radius those seismic detectors work at. And using that, you can be strategic about really setting some up around your base and knowing where the point of attack is, even without potentially even being in the server, which is cool.
Yeah, I think there is. Could wait. Is there any signs of old Rust servers becoming an option for players? I
Nah,
think with
not
the old
really.
recall and stuff like that.
Yeah, not really. And like Legacy is definitely not an option, but you're probably thinking more like old Recoil. That's where most people go when they ask a similar question. And um, I don't think so. I think there were some modded servers that tried to do old Recoil, right? But I don't think they really ever took off.
Yeah, I just got
So,
an. Imagine if you're on the bicycle and you have the heavy plate and you make like the ramp and just like fly over there into a compound and just get peeled by turrets and shit. That'd be
oh
fun.
yeah, I'm picturing like building a ramp off a mountain and you grab a parachute.
Parachute, yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
do some real like Tom Cruise Mission Impossible shit. Hey, it's not out of the question anymore with this addition of bikes. So
So we actually had a wash stripe last week, and the guy that was flying the Mini, we were at the outpost. He got disconnected, and when he loaded back in, his body was gone, so he was dead. So on outpost, they parked like on the top of the highest there, so they couldn't get up there. So we find a hot air balloon, and then with a parachute, and then they parachute in to get the heli back,
nice.
and we got it. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think we're going to wind this puppy down. I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in. Once again, we're not developers of the game. We're not on the Facepunch payroll. We're just an independent organization who loves reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. And the only way we can do that week after week, month after month, shit, year after year, going on over 10 years now, the only way we can do that and have been able to do that is through the support of the community. So, a huge thank you to everyone who tunes in each week, to people who subscribe on Twitch and give bits, and to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers. Thank you all so very much for the support. We literally wouldn't be able to do this without you. So thank you. And we'll keep doing this. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, to give you a heads up on what's most likely coming in the update. And then, of course, 2 weeks from today, we will be back again to give you an update stream and show you exactly what's coming in the update and when the update comes out. In the meantime, feel free to check out rustified.com each Thursday for a new article and check us out on X for news throughout the week and some little shorts when things hit staging. A huge thank you, as always, to my co MCs, Miss D and Artemis. Thanks for joining me.
As always, you're welcome.
Yep, you're most welcome.
And yeah, and with that, we're going to wind this puppy down. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.